Good morning. I hope you're all well and enjoying your week. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jamie. I am director and co-owner of Purple Pebble People and also the UK's leading trainer and provider for Points of View creative tools for coaching and development. Over the past few weeks, I have been doing these videos to give you examples of how these tools can be used. The first session that we did was a reflection session and showing gratitude with my 8-year-old son, exploring the things that make us happy and what we enjoy. Second session was me doing some self-coaching using the tools, and I explored my relationship with stress and how I can move forward. And the third session we moved into more of a business sense, and I used the tools to explore my business strategy, looking at what currently works well, what I would like to improve, and what I would like to start doing. We're going to carry on that theme of how we use the tools within a professional environment. And today I'm going to focus on facilitating, about how we can use the cards when we are delivering to groups or facilitating leadership programs, etc. The way that I use these within a group is there's many different ways. One of the great ways they can be used is to give people more of an overview of a subject and to help them shift their paradigm on that subject to get them to think in a different way. For me, personal development is all about that. It's all about shifting your paradigm. Once you can move away from your current view of a subject and start to explore it from as many different angles as possible, then we start to see different opportunities and we become more aware. So earlier on this week, I had a coaching client who wanted to explore authenticity, wanted me to spend some time with him discovering how he can move forward and check in to make sure that he is being and working in his most authentic self. So I'm going to play this session like I am delivering to a group. And I'm going to use the cards to open up the subject of authenticity. So I am going to show you the authenticity card, and I'm going to ask you to observe that card and come out with your thoughts and feelings and noticing what you notice around authenticity. So a good way to do this, if I was working with a group of say 12 people, I would probably open a few packs of the coaching game and pull out the authenticity card of each pack so that they can have it between each group. So I will show you the card first, which is what I would be asking the group to do. So I will be saying something along the lines of, on the table in front of you, you have one of the cards from the coaching game. I'd like you to flick that over, have a look at it, and as a group, I'd like you to discuss what you see in the card and what you think it means to you. Off you go. So here we have the authenticity card. So what do I see? I see a group of young individuals all dressed exactly the same. It looks to me like they are both male and female, but they're all dressed as female. What does this make me think about? Some of them look quite happy and relaxed. Some of them look a little bit concerned. What does this mean to me? This makes me think about schools and the way we all wear uniforms in school and how society teaches us how to behave and tells us what is right and wrong. So for instance, in the world of business, as a man, I am usually expected to be suited and booted. In fact, I once heard somebody say, somebody who's quite influential, make a statement and say that you cannot expect to be taken seriously in business unless you are suited and booted. That's one perspective, not necessarily my perspective, but there you go. But for me, this card makes me think about that. It's a clear example of how we are taught to conform. I have a couple of teenagers, so I've recognized over the past couple of years through conversations with them is that when you're at school, the last thing you want to do is stand out and be different. Anybody who stands out and is a little bit different tends to get beelined for bullying, or just picked out at every opportunity. So actually, they do everything that they can to fit in, to not be different. The way they use social media is a great example, but that's another conversation completely. So this card really sings to me around how we conform, how a lot of the time society teaches us to do things in the way that society feels is correct. That can also work within organizations or businesses. So how about you in your business or in your team? Do you dress and behave in a way that you have been taught to? I come across a lot of clients who are usually entering their 50s, who are recognizing that they're institutionalized. They've worked for a company that 25 years, their behaviors, etc., are all what has been taught to them by that company. We also see it in people who are going to work for themselves, who struggle to grasp the concept, let's say. I know for me and for my business partner, when we first worked for ourselves, recognizing that we didn't have to work until 5 o'clock every day was a big thing. If we had nothing to do after 3 o'clock, then we would find something to do for the next 2 hours rather than going, okay, that's me finished for the day. What do I want to do for myself? So a lot of talk there, but you can imagine putting this in front of a group of 3 or 4 or 5 people and getting them to open up those conversations. Interesting conversations and insights that come out. So in the bottom corner of this card, you will see a number, and that number relates to a page in the book that you find in the coaching game. Each card has a representative page that has a story, some quotes, some coaching questions, and some alternative images for you to explore. And I'm going to now read the story to my group to give them a different perspective again. So they've already observed the card and had conversations, opened up authentic dialogue around what this means to them, how it makes them feel, and what they notice about themselves or about the team. I'm now going to use the book to try and give them another perspective, to get them thinking on another level and explore authenticity. So here we go. I'm going to read you a story. Apologies for all you ladies out there. I'm not Tom Hardy, but I will do the best I can. Okay, so here we go. So, as I said, the card is authenticity, and that's also the title of the story in the book. You can see the other images here. So we have the image that is on the card. We also have another image here which represents authenticity. So when I look at this one makes me think about media. How, I suppose we can go down the lines of the size zero, how women and young girls are put under pressure to look like the celebrities that we see in the magazines and on the telly. There's a bit of recognizing when we are doing that and looking at how we can pull back and just be happy we've been the authentic us. Interesting. So here we go, the story. Tom Hardy style. Ever since I was a little kid, I didn't want to be me. I wanted to be like Johnny Barak. And Johnny Barak didn't even like me. I walked like he walked. I talked like he talked. And I signed up for the high school that he signed up for. This was when Johnny Barak changed. He began to hang around with Sam Smith. He walked like Sam Smith. He talked like Sam Smith. He mixed me up. I began to walk and talk like Johnny Barak, who was walking and talking like Sam Smith. And then it dawned on me. Sam Smith talked and walked like Eduardo Marquez. And Eduardo Marquez walked and talked like Josh Jones. So here I am. I'm walking and talking like Johnny Barak's imitation of Sam Smith's version of Eduardo Marquez, trying to walk and talk like Josh Jones. And who do you think Josh Jones is always walking and talking like? Of all people, TJ Walker, that little pest who walks and talks just like me. I love that story, although the names are quite hard to pronounce sometimes. Interesting. We model ourselves on other people or what society sees, but in this story specifically, it goes full circle and comes back to ourselves. How often do we recognize the impact that our actions, behaviors, and authenticity influences others? Interesting. So, here's a quote for you. It's by Mark Twain. We are discreet sheep. We wait to see how the herd is going and then go with the herd. That's a really interesting one for me. I'm a firm believer in that environment drives behavior. So for me, I'm a lover of equality. I do a lot of research and a lot of work around exploring how we can have more equality within our country. How we treat women, how women treat men, what is chivalry, what's right and wrong, all those wonderful things. And I hold those beliefs very strong. Regarding the Mark Twain quote, an environment breeds behaviour, what about when I'm in the pub and I'm with all the boys in the pub and a beautiful lady walks in and walks across the pub, and maybe some of the men that I'm around start to behave in a way which I deem inappropriate, making sexual comments, lewd behaviour, those kind of things. How do I respond in that environment? Do I choose to stay quiet? Do I choose to join in? Because, as we said earlier, standing out and being different can be quite dangerous in some respects. Do I stand up and be countered and say to those boys, this is unacceptable, we shouldn't be speaking like that? Or do I stay quiet? What do I do? Am I a sheep? Do I follow the herd? Or do I stand up and be counted? It's an interesting one. Got another quote here by a guy called Nathaniel Hawthorne, and it says, no man for any considerable period, let's rephrase that, shall we? No man or woman for any considerable period can wear one face to himself and another to the multitude, without finally getting bewildered as to which may be his true face. So this is a really good example of understanding who you are, understanding what you being authentic is and exploring that. And one of the coaching questions that are in this book that I would be asking to the group is, does the world see you as you are? Interesting one when we think about paradigms, etc. So I would then probably go on and I would be having a flip chart up and I would be writing down things that people come out with, throwing it back to them, asking more questions, and just basically opening up an opportunity for authentic dialogue around that within the group before I start showing them different models, etc. So it's a really good introduction to a training program, facilitation, etc. So that's today's process. I hope you got something out of it, and if you want to know more, then please do get in touch. Our training program, the next one runs from the 30th of July to, the 30th of June to the 2nd of July. Get it right, Jamie. And we'll be at the Coniston Hotel in Skipton. So if you are interested in that, we still have a few places left. Give me a call or drop me a line to find out more. All my contact details are on our website. So that's it for today. Enjoy the rest of your week, show gratitude, and be as authentic as you possibly can. That's it from me. Again, have a great day. Pathfinder out. Bye bye.